I'll wait for, okay, Kristen says we're going live. So I'll wait until I see Kristen. So people may be seeing me right now, but I don't know that we're live. It says upcoming event. Okay. Live now. Okay. Live now. Okay. So I may be live right now, but I can't tell. So I'm going to wait for Kristen to text me. So if our members can see me, I apologize. I'm upstairs. I know there's probably a bunch of people wondering why I'm not talking. Oh, I'm on. Okay. So Kristen just told me I'm on. So hi, everybody. Welcome to Live at Lunch. You will tell that I'm actually in a different location than I normally am. I'm in the beautiful Taboon restaurant, looking at that delicious overcast sky and hoping that it will rain. So before we get started with, I know what you're excited to hear about is getting your dining questions answered. I do want to remind you about the other community life activities that are happening today. And if you don't care about that, well, too bad. Live at Lunch is a community life. So today at 1:00 by member request, we have Hairspray, the 2007 musical. It's wonderful. If you've wanted to see John Travolta in a dress, I highly encourage you turn it on. It's a lot of fun. And then we actually are back to our new movies on Wednesday evenings. And this movie is a mystery. It's called Blow the Man Down. And it's about, well, you'll see the preview after Live at Lunch today, but it looks like a fun little mystery. And it's got like Margot Martindale and all these fabulous women. And it's about a murder in Canada and then all the matriarchs and their secrets. So that should be really, really fun. And then tomorrow morning, our One Day University is so appropriate. Our One Day University is on cheese. And so, and I feel like the official title is too much fun. I need to tell the two people in the corner here to pipe down. Monica and Eric are making fun of me over here as I'm talking to all of you. So it's called An Hour of Cheese, Discovering New Ones You'll Truly Love. So that should be really, really fun. You'll have to send in your cheese requests. So that should be great. And then at 10:00, we're doing our first virtual pub trivia. And I have subscribed to a pub trivia service that has general trivia in a variety of different categories. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. The format will be that you have a piece of paper and your apartment, whether it's by yourself or with, the person you live with, you'll take the notes. And then at the end of the round, we'll add it up. And there's, I think, 5 or 6 rounds. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And you're playing for real prizes that are worth tens of pennies. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join us for that, especially if you've been feeling like you want to interact a little more. We have a good time. So join us at 10 a.m. for virtual trivia. If you want information or you want to try it out today to make sure that you're ready for tomorrow, come down and visit us in the community life room, and we would be happy to update your technology. Okay, and that brings us to tomorrow's Live at Lunch. So, oh wait, actually that's not true. We also have exercise, of course, and Thursday is Juan. So you'll enjoy Juan's class tomorrow, and he just sent me a new one. He just loves hearing feedback from you guys. So every time somebody sends something, I always pass it along to him, and he enjoys it a lot. So now we're going to talk about restaurants. So I am seated over here because, of course, we're doing social distancing, and so you're going to hear my voice, but you're actually going to get to see these two fabulous people. So hello to Monica and Chef Eric. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. So I got quite a few questions, a lot of things that just need a little bit of clarification. And there were many questions that were very similar. And so because of that, I'm going to sort of give you the overview. Can people see my, I thought my fingers were in the thing there. Hello. Hi. Yeah. Oh, means I can go like this. Okay. So let's just dive right in. And I do want to say that I think every single person who sent in a question started their email with, "Oh my gosh, we're so excited." So, but there's a lot of questions and people would like clarification on the number of people who are allowed to dine together. So specifically, there's questions about how many single members are allowed per table and how many couples are allowed per table. So could you clarify that?
So as far as single or individuals that, of course, live alone, a max of 2. Unfortunately, this is where we're starting right now as we move forward. And that's why we're moving so slow, because as we grow, as we figure things out, as we come up with better ideas, and also your feedback is going to make that difference. So. Yeah. But for right now, it's a max of 2, but we can definitely do it.
So we could almost say that it's 2 households, right? Because if it's 2 couples who'd like to dine together, you can put 1 couple at one end and 1 couple at the other.
Or you could do 1 couple and 1 individual.
There you go.
And I think that was one of the questions. Mm-hmm. And yes, we can absolutely do that. But pretty much you can say 2 is pretty much the max. 2 couples, 2 individuals.
Yeah.
Either way you look at it.
2 apartments.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. So I believe that covers all of the questions that people had in regards to how many people could be at a table together. Yes. So let's move on to reservations. So could you clarify how early in advance you are allowed to make a reservation, and maybe even explain why we have to have it that way?
Okay. So the only reservation that you can do in advance is breakfast. A reason being is the phone line does not even open up until 7:00.
Okay.
So you can call the night before and order for your breakfast order the next day.
Okay.
The other meals, we ask that you order day of, so that it's fair for everyone. Yes, it is basically first come, first serve. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to accommodate as many people during a dining period as possible. And again, we're going to be flexible. We're going to be able to move and do things differently, really depending on your needs and wants. Mm-hmm. So, but yes, to answer the question, only breakfast.
Okay.
And that's the night before on the reservation line for the restaurants. If someone doesn't answer the phone, just please leave a message. The server will get back to you to confirm that your breakfast order has been taken, or we'll take that reservation, and then you'll be set, but only breakfast.
Okay. I appreciate that. When you explained it to me, I thought it was really helpful because if you have them go too far out, then people can just reserve those spots, and then it's just not fair to everybody else.
Yeah, it's not fair. And that was actually one of the concerns when we started putting all of this together. We met with our dining committee.
Yeah.
And that was a concern. We want everybody to have an opportunity to have the dining experience.
Yes. And I would like to remind everybody that everything is temporary. So we will return. We will return to a traditional dining experience with reservations, days in advance as soon as we're able to. But this is what we're doing for right now so that we can at least enjoy the restaurants.
Yes.
Fabulous. So since we're talking about where folks can seat, what about outside? Are any of the tables available outside?
Absolutely. Right now, unfortunately, the only thing we can do couples, we can, if we have enough notice and someone expresses that they want to sit outside, we could bring 2 of the square or the 4 top tables together to have 2 individuals sit together outside. But absolutely, it's limited, but we can absolutely do that.
I would also say it's hot. Even with those misters, it is warm. So maybe take a dry run before you book it, because if the inside is booked and you're outside and you're uncomfortable, that might be, so maybe come down and see what it's like over there, even with the misters. July and August are no joke in Tucson.
So this morning was a good example. We had Marlene and Nancy, of course, again, and they came for breakfast. And we did have a lot of reservations this morning. So we had an opportunity for her to say, hey, could I sit outside if I want? I said, sure. She goes, can I check it out first? I said, absolutely. And she said, absolutely not.
And
came back inside.
how early was that? How early?
And that was about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
They came for a late
So
breakfast.
maybe, but a 7:30 breakfast would be
It
pleasant.
was really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was out there.
All right.
That time was nice.
Okay, so good ideas. Thank you for that question about eating outside. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about reserving and getting there and sitting down. So now let's talk about food.
Food.
Yes. So talk to me. There were quite a few questions about specials. So maybe could you share, and they're all worded in different ways, and some ask about Morrow specials in Taboon or specials in, being delivered. So maybe if you could just cover specials
Yes.
and explain that. So Eric?
So overall, we've tried to have some very unique specials everywhere is what we're planning. Right now, Morrow's dinner, their Crandall special will only be available in Morrow for assisted living members. We will be doing over the next couple weeks several chef specials, and we'll be doing our best to introduce specials throughout the day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. So we do have specials coming. We understand that some people, they kind of feel like they're missing out on those Crandall specials, but they will be very well put together when they come back, and it will be a very short time before we get those rolling.
And you used a vocabulary word that I don't think everybody knows, which is Crandall. And so the Crandall menu is a special menu for assisted living and for communities like that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, and
All
we
right.
were, and a lot of our specials were derived from that
Okay.
because we had to accommodate
The licensed
the
portions
licensed facilities,
of our
licensed
place.
restaurants. Sorry. So
Yeah.
yes, we were running that, and we're moving away from that and trying to improve upon those specials we're putting out, having much
Mm-hmm.
more elegant specials put together and coming out at a much more rapid rate. We'll be
Great.
seeing a lot more every week.
So moving forward, we will see more daily specials.
Yes.
Talk to me about those 3 special nights, like Pizza Friday and things like that. Are those available in the restaurant or in the apartments?
So our theme nights is what we're calling them. You might hear us refer to those. Are actually changing. Some
Okay.
of we had Pasta Wednesdays, we had Pizza Friday, Steak Night Sunday was my favorite.
Oh,
Those will all be changing.
Okay.
We will be having 3 new theme nights coming out. Not this coming week, but the following week.
Okay.
Once we get all of the new menus flowing into Boone and we work out any small issues that we might have, just making sure that service is top notch, we'll be reintroducing those theme nights.
great.
Sunday is our vegetarian night.
Okay.
All vegetables in all kinds of different ways. We're going to have a lot of fun, do some things you may not have seen before.
Are you doing that because I work on Sundays? I appreciate
100%.
that. Okay,
Absolutely.
great.
This is only for Missy, so
No,
No,
if it was
this-
only for Missy, it would be Chelsea every single time I would have the desserts. Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah, can I just strongly
Sure.
bring up the fact that we're doing this so that it runs smoothly. If
Mhm.
we were to bring all these specials and all this theme night and open up the restaurant fully, we want to be successful. So we're taking baby steps.
Mhm.
And with everything we do, it's in moderation. We're going very, very slow. But by no means are we trying to take anything away. We want to add to. And by doing that, we have to perfect it.
Mhm.
And so we just ask just for
A little-
bit of patience.
A little bit of patience, a
Yes,
little bit of
please.
grace.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. And you haven't mentioned this, but I think that everybody probably understands that we are also living in the time of COVID. And so we are
Yes,
having to
absolutely.
juggle our own associates' needs as they are living in COVID as well. It's not just people in this building, it's parents who are working here, it's everything. And so we're all working together to the same end. And I know you guys are working with that staffing issue as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, all right, we've talked about food. So now let's talk a little bit. I know we talked about specials, but let's talk just a pinch about the menus, because there were some very specific questions about we just had some very specific questions, and I want to make sure that everybody feels like they are heard. And so there were some questions about pancakes and waffles, eggs Benedict, specific things. Are those still going to be available for the in-home breakfast? And perhaps why are there the 2 menus? Do the 2 menus go back and forth? So that was a specific question that came up a couple times.
Indeed. Just for some clarification, by the two menus, you mean?
Like what could be ordered in Taboon and then what would go to the in-home menu?
Right. And we made those different for a couple of reasons. One is to kind of maximize the experience.
Mhm.
We want people in the restaurant. We want them coming back down. So that menu, we wanted it to be not just an experience down here, but something to see too. Us working in the kitchen again, all those items coming out of that oven. And then while still making sure that we're accommodating all of the room deliveries. So that's why you'll see the difference in those two menus.
Mhm. And some things are more successful as a delivered item than they would be on the plate, and more successful as an immediate item that's here than being delivered. I know that was
Absolutely.
something you talked about before.
And it's about being functional. It's for us to line up and do home in-home dining versus in the restaurant. There's a whole different way of preparing that
Mhm.
and packing it up and getting it out there. So if that Taboon menu were the same menu that we offered in your home,
Uh-huh.
us trying to get that packed up in this area would almost be impossible. It would. There's just so many moving parts, things that you probably wouldn't even think of. That sometimes it took us maybe 3 or 4 meetings before we, and then this, and then this, and then this,
Sure.
that you wouldn't even think of. And this was probably the best way
Mhm.
to do it, most
Yeah.
successful.
And I know that all of our members appreciate that, and they are thinking of those things as well. Because the other thing that I think a lot of people, when you're in your own bubble, you think I must be the only person they're serving, forgetting that there's 80, 80 people who are being accommodated as well. And so it truly is
133.
impossible. 133, excuse
Yes,
me. Well, I mean apartments, but yeah, but to make sure that they're receiving their things, in a timely fashion and making sure that everybody can be accommodated.
Yes.
Okay. I think that sort of covers some of the other questions. There were some very specific questions about red meat and vegetarian items. And we did talk about those overarching, but if someone still has very specific questions about a certain item, they can always reach out to both of you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. And then so now we've talked about food, we've talked about reservations. Now let's talk about the end. So, if once we're done eating, if we don't finish the meal, are we able to take it home?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we can do it that way. Can you order from Taboon and just come down and pick it up and take it back to your apartment?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Reason being is because if, and I'm sure there would be a good amount of people that wanted to do that. Maybe a spouse wants to go off the in-home delivery menu, and then one, maybe wants to pick up something down here.
Okay.
So then you have a good amount of people down here, and that would defeat the whole purpose of trying to keep that social distancing. It's
Mhm.
already going to be challenging for us, every 15 minutes at that reservation. If let's say some members show up early, we're going to ask them to wait. So there's
Mhm.
only going to be so much space that we have available for people to wait that is still safe. So we ask that not.
And I would also like to remind everybody that may change. In 3 weeks, 2 weeks, we may discover, okay, we figured out how to make it work for more options. But at this point, starting out today, we ask that people respect the 2 menus. Okay. And then for in-home dining, there was a request to republish the restaurant times for order and delivery. And I will put that back on Channel 77, and we can even print it out again as a handout to put into people's bags, because it has been a couple months, and so that's fair. So thank you for that suggestion. And then now we're to payment. So do we need to bring the THC charge card with you for dining in the restaurant?
Actually, we have a scanner.
Ooh.
And so we'll be able to do that. And that there again is part of that process of that social distancing. So your closed check will be at your table when you sit down to dine. Along
Wonderful.
with your meals.
Wonderful. And then what about, is there now a room service charge if your meals are delivered?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
They'll stay, everything with in-home dining will remain the same.
Okay.
Except the menu. And we'll bring all those specials and those theme nights back when when we're ready.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure it's sooner than later. As we hear
Fabulous.
the demand.
Okay. And then I think that I've covered, again, if you had a very specific question that you didn't feel was covered,
Yes.
please reach out to us again. But
Please.
this covers the overarching themes of the questions that did come in. Is there anything else you want to share before we sign off?
Be looking out for our theme,
Mhm.
our theme
Our
night,
theme nights. Yep.
and then the wine list, which is it's pretty big.
Oh, good.
As well as our bar menu, and anything
And
else.
chef
The bar
tables.
menu. Wait, go back. Tell me about the bar menu. Well, that
Just-
wasn't covered. That wasn't covered. I'm
Oh,
going to
that-
get more questions.
That was, just basically your cocktails and your beers that you can order. That,
Okay.
of course, you would pre-order to eat down in the
Okay.
restaurant.
Okay.
Enjoy a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. Actually, we're suggesting that more than a glass, because maybe at lunch you thought a glass was going to be enough, and then by dinner
You
time
wanted to?
you wanted two. So
Listen,
order
and
that
it's
bottle.
love in the time of COVID. Let's pour the wine. I mean,
Yes.
let's pour the wine and eat dessert, right?
So I know, that wine list is very important.
Okay,
Long time coming. So
wonderful.
I'll get that in the next couple of days, actually.
All right, fabulous.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
here at Live at
Thank you.
Lunch. I'll sign off here, and then we actually had a special guest in the corner. Wave, June. So if you doubted our social distance, we're not fooling around. Okay, and on that note, keep your chin up. It makes you look better. We'll see you later. Bye.